Hey guys, it's Kyle here from Amen Auto, and today I am bringing you, I think, a very cool vehicle. It might be one of the most uncool vehicles for sale, but I'm going to get to why I think this thing is really actually a cool car. This is a 2024 Buick Encore GX. Keep that GX name in mind, because if you're thinking of the old Encore, the one that was kind of shaped like a bean, that one has been discontinued. That no longer exists. The entry level for Buick has been replaced by the Envista. So this is a step up from their entry level. It still does kind of have that bean profile, but it was lengthened over the original Encore, hence the GX name. They changed it so much they needed to add a whole nother name to it, the GX part. So anyway, what does this compete in? What is this vehicle? It is Buick's kind of entry level. Again, the Envistas are entry level. This is another entry level SUV. This competes with, Buick would like to tell you it competes with things like a BMW X1 or things like, you know, an entry level Audi Q3. That is not the case. You'll see very quickly why. It sits in a middle ground, kind of in no man's land. It's not a luxury vehicle, but it's not an entry-level vehicle either. I'll get it out of the way. This starts at $28,000. This one, as equipped, is about $29,000. So you can see this is exactly what you'll get for 29 grand today. The front part is what is the most striking to most people. Buick unveiled a Wildcat design concept car a few years ago, and this, I think, looks great grafted onto this SUV. If you guys are familiar with their Enclave, they just unveiled how that's going to look. I don't know if I like how that's grafted onto a large SUV, but I think on these smaller SUVs, that's a really, really sharp look. This is the new Buick Tri-Logo. I love this new design. Before it was like stacked three ways and all chrome. Now it's red, white, and blue. It's different. I think it looks nice. Buick's really trying to reinvent themselves. They have been multiple times, but I think this is the best effort yet with the new logo and the Wildcat design. I usually don't like this look. If you watch my videos before, you know I don't really like this whole split look with an LED up here and a separate headlight unit, but I think it works really well on this car. I usually think the smaller the vehicle, the better this kind of looks. It just gives it more personality, which I think little vehicles struggle to sometimes have. But in terms of size, let's backtrack a little. This is like Subaru Crosstrek, Honda HR-V, Toyota Corolla Cross size. So it's a small vehicle. This is not a large vehicle that you're going to want to pack 6 kids into and go across the state with on a road trip. It's definitely a smaller vehicle, and it's entry level. Keep that in mind through this video. When people think Buick, they think luxury. This is definitely entry level luxury or high-end regular, depending on how you want to look at it. One of the dead giveaways to this is these wheels. I do like them. I like the new logo on there, but this is just a small little alloy wheel. I believe this is an 18. So the fact that an 18 comes standard, I think, is kind of nice. You know, they have to have a reason to sell you the upgraded Sport Touring and Avenir trim. This is just the preferred model. I still think it looks nice. It doesn't look offensive. It just, you know, just a normal alloy wheel. This does have all-wheel drive. These will come with turbo 3 cylinders. I'll get to that in a little bit, but it is turbo 3 cylinders, which was controversial when these cars first came out. But I think with the Trailblazer, which is this, you know, corporate cousin of this car, is the Chevy Trailblazer, I think it's really kind of cemented its place, and it's actually been a relatively, I think, reliable engine based on what I've seen online. The back is, again, not offensive. It has just normal halogen headlights on the preferred trim. I believe the Avenir gives you really nice white LEDs. You do still get the rear windshield wiper. Glad they didn't cost cut there. I do love this back Buick. I think if you're behind them and someone in traffic, that looks really sharp. I just think that's a good look right there. This does say Buick Encore GX, and there is the all-wheel drive badge. This is all-wheel drive. That matters because transmissions vary. This does have a 9-speed automatic, where front-wheel drives come with a CVT. Let's jump inside. Let me show you what this looks like. Before we hop in, I'll show you the key fob. I like it. I will say this is plastic. I don't know if the higher trims leather line this. I would hope the Avenir at least leather lines, but it's nice. You do have the power opening trunk, which is not always standard on vehicles, so that's nice. Lock, panic. The back looks kind of just cheap. It kind of looks like an old Chevy key, but I think the front with the new logo, at least they try to spruce it up with some chrome. Again, the vehicle's, what did I say, about 30 grand. You can't really complain. So let's jump inside and let's see what we're looking at here, which there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I'm going to start with the door panel. I always do the door panels. They actually mean a lot to me because I think it shows automakers' attention to detail or lack thereof. Here it's hard touch. Chrome door handle, plastic. Lock on lock. They do spruce it up a little right here. This is not real leather, it's fake leather, but it is nice. Auto touch up and down for the driver, not for the passenger or back seats. Wouldn't expect that at this price point. You do have the ability to control it, the rear hatch from here, which is nice. No fancy speaker. You can get a Bose on higher trims. Again, keep in mind this is entry level. Everyone on the internet always shows high price trims. I thought it'd be cool to show you guys a regular car for once. Let's hop in. Let's see how this door sounds. You know, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. That door sounded pretty good for a $30,000, you know, Buick SUV. Before I fire it up, I just want to talk interior design for a minute. I think this has a lot of, I don't want to say wow, I don't want to be dramatic, but I think this does have some wow factor to it. You sit down in it and you're almost like, wow, like this is a large, let me start it up. This is an 11-inch screen. Push button start is standard, which is nice. And you get this nice dual 8-inch, 11-inch screen. This has an immediate wow factor. Looks very futuristic. This is all new for 2024. 2023 was looking really dated with separate screens. So that is really nice. Over here, you just have basic auto headlights. You know, this was actually interesting. I'm shocked they didn't bury this in the screen. It's the brightness for the gauges. Kind of interested that they had that in the car in this day. I haven't seen that in a while. Buick steering wheel looks very nice. I love this. This has like this perforated stitching. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it looks great. Very nice. The steering wheel is one of the things that some automakers cheap out on overlook. You get a rubber steering wheel on base models, and I don't know why you would do that. The steering wheel is the first thing people touch. It should be a point of, you know, attractiveness to me in a car. I think this car nails it perfectly. Has a good look first impression. You do get a couple blank buttons. This car does not have adaptive cruise. It does have lane keep assist, as you can see right here, but no adaptive cruise. And it does have forward collision warning, which you can turn on and off if you want. Otherwise, it's a pretty basic, no nonsense steering wheel with just some basic controls up in here. Going down here, again, you can see blanks. This car does not have heated seats. This is an entry-level model, no dual zone climate control. I will say though, this dial feels pretty good to use. Not like a high-end German car, but it's tactile, feels nice. I like how it's illuminated. It's simple, easy to use. Some people like that. I can see why people might want the single zone versus dual control, because it's just so nice sometimes to go hot, cold, hot. You know, I'm in so many fancy cars with convoluted ways to adjust climate, couple buttons. Sometimes I think this is a selling feature, having less. Going down here, here's your lane keep assist. Your all-wheel drive, you do have to turn on and off manually. That's kind of old school. Some people like that, some people don't. I think most people don't like that. Just have it full-time, automatic. I think that makes it easier for most folks who don't want to sit there and select it. This does have auto stop start. It is right there. And down here, you do got the cup holders. You got actually good storage right here, but not a lot of storage in here. This is kind of far back, and you open it up, and this is pretty far behind me. Not a lot of storage there. I mean, there is, don't get me wrong, there is some storage, but it's not a lot. So it's nice that they at least give you this. This looks like it'd be a great place to hold your phone. No wireless charger. I believe that would be down there. Nice to see USB-C and A. So, you know, this is a more affordable vehicle. A lot of people still use USB-A. I like that that's actually still included, especially on entry-level vehicles. But the good old cigarette lighter, nobody uses it. Good thing it's still here, though, I guess. Glove box, it's damped, falls nicely, no felt, but, you know, it's a normal glove box, nothing fancy there. I do like this, like, faux leather stitching. This isn't real stitching. This isn't a real leather line dash. This is soft rubber, but it's convincing. I think this is very convincing. It looks good. If you never touched it, it is convincing. You do get plastic trim up here. It almost just is meant to look like aluminum-like. It looks fine. I like it. It's better than some other cars with more boring designs. At least they did something here. Chrome thin window or vent slit right here. I like that. Almost looks like a small fitment issue right there. Can't tell if it is. It kind of looks like maybe the seal isn't perfect, but Otherwise, this looks like a nice place to spend time. Let's talk this mirror. Nothing fancy, no automatic, no sunroof. Again, wouldn't expect that. No garage door, wouldn't expect that. Does come with OnStar, of course. GM will sell you a subscription to that. They'd love to do that for you. Diving into the center stack here, with this gauge cluster, something that disappointed me. Please tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. I know you guys will. I spent about 10 minutes just playing with this and cannot figure out how to change it. I almost want, it's not touchscreen. There's no, it's almost like I believe this is a non-configurable digital display. So it's more meant to just look pretty. And it does. It looks nice. It has everything you need, nothing you don't. Has your fuel gauge, temperature, miles per hour, lane keep assist, everything you need, nothing you don't. Let's rev it. There is no tack, but you can hear that little 3-banger rev. So let's talk about transmissions. Driving while I'm revving it for you guys is a turbocharged engine, which means off the line, this 1.3 liter makes about 155 horsepower, and I think it's like 170 pound-feet of torque. I might be a little off on that torque figure, but it's a healthy number. And this thing 0 to 60 is right around 8.5 to 9 seconds. That sounds slow. It is, but you got to realize this whole segment is slow. The Honda HR-V is over 9 seconds. The Subaru Crosstrak's over 10 seconds. The Corolla Cross is in the 9 seconds. So if you're comparing to those vehicles, which I think you should be, this vehicle actually has turbocharged power and is quicker than those cars. Now, if you jump ahead of this car and you get a BMW X1 or an Audi Q3 like Buick likes to talk about, this is way slower. So I don't know why Buick wants to try to compare themselves to that. I get they want to be fancy, but it doesn't. This drives more like a nicer, higher trimmed HR-V, Subaru Crosstrek, stuff like that. Keep that in mind when you buy this. If you keep your expectations in check, I think you'll be very happy. So 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds, that's fine. What I wouldn't do is there is a 1.2 liter that only is available with front wheel drive. And again, front wheel drive comes with a CVT. I have not driven the CVT. I've driven this, not that much, but I've driven it enough. The CVT, I couldn't imagine it being good. I heard 0 to 60 on that's about 10 seconds, so about a full second longer. And actually, fuel economy doesn't go up or down. All the engines are about the same. This car should average you about 29 miles per gallon, where the front wheel drive 1.2 liter is 30 miles per gallon. So no matter which engine you choose or which drive chain you choose, you're going to be looking 29 to 31 miles per gallon. I'd recommend get the all-wheel drive 1.3 liter. Like I said, this car costs $29,000 as equipped. That's, I think, a lot of value. I don't see why you'd skimp on the all-wheel drive. Unless you live down south, then go for it. But the all-wheel drive is kind of a no-brainer, especially up here in Wisconsin. I'm going over here. This is an 11-inch screen. It looks very nice. It actually almost reminds me of a Mazda, to be honest. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. My phone is not connected to it, but it's, you can see right here, it's relatively snappy, but I can tell, or I believe, that it has a slightly slower processor than higher-end cars. This works. You click home, and there's a little delay to things. I mean, it's not like that fancy. The sound system surprisingly sounds okay, but it doesn't sound amazing, and there's not much in here. It's a huge screen, but there's not too much to play with. You got your settings, your music, you know, you jump into your trip and your gauges. You can look at stuff over here, which I think is kind of cool. I just wish you could, there it is, show and cluster, there you go. So you can adjust some things from here, which is weird. It's funny, I didn't know that. I just discovered that with you guys. But so you can find 2 gauges in here, and you can move that to be the primary. So there you go, there's your adjustability. But it's still kind of slow. I mean, you click it and you guys saw that delay, right? Click. So it looks nice with wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. It works great. It looks a little better than it is. I think that's the theme with this car. Buick wanted to have a nice, good impression. They wanted to look upscale, feel upscale. But when you use it deep down, you know, it still is a budget, you know, GM product. But I think that's okay. I really think that's okay because, you know, I'll go on my high horse a little bit on the final walkthrough of this vehicle. But it's so nice and refreshing to see a vehicle under 30 grand that has this type of ambiance to it. You know, you you don't need to feel bad because you got a cheaper car. I think this is nice. It looks very nice. I think it's all most people will need, especially in this price point. So yeah, that is the interior. And of course they have this. This looks cheap. I hate it. I wish it wasn't here. There is an up and down volume dial right here. Works perfect. Don't know why, you know, a lot of people insist they need a volume knob up here. That's fine and dandy, but this literally just looks tacked on. This feels cheap. This feels like it was 5 cents. I do like having the power button. You can just turn it, mute and turn things off. Cool, I guess. But it just kind of, I think it sticks out like a sore thumb. I love having physical buttons and dials for certain things, like volume and like down here, climate control. But it needs to be integrated cleaner than that. I think that's a bad look. Let's pop the trunk here. And let's look in the back. I'll quickly go over that, go over the back seat, and then I'll wrap this up, you guys. I don't want this to go too long on you. So when you look in the cargo area, it is about 24.5 cubic feet. That is right there. Honda HR-V, I believe, is 24.5. These back seats do fold down, and you do get right around 50 cubic feet. So that's good. It's class competitive. Otherwise, nothing remarkable back here. Just a non-LED light, no power outlets, nothing like that. You do get some tie downs. So if you want to secure some cargo, that is nice. You do get a full-size spare with plenty of extra space. Actually, you could hide something down here. So that is nice to still see. I know Buick customers appreciate that. Power liftgate, again, not always seen in this class. Again, nothing fancy. Plenty of cargo room, class competitive. Don't see nothing wrong with it. There we go. It just didn't work because it was snagging in a piece. So let's jump into the back seat here. And this is the most surprising thing. People see this car and they think it's small. I'm not saying it's not small, but I'm 5'7", and this is pretty good. I mean, my foot rubs a little, but once I'm all situated, there's no reason another person couldn't be over there, 5'7" adult, and be very comfortable. Now, would a 6.5 footer be happy back here? Of course not. They're not gonna be happy in most cars, but I think it's pretty nice. I wish this did have a sunroof, just because it is a little drab in here. You do have obviously just lights, non-LED. Feels a little old school. It feels almost like it's out of a 90s GM product. Kind of brings me back, but that's nice. Nonetheless, no real amenities back here. USB-C and USB-A again. There is no, tell me if I'm wrong again, internet, I couldn't believe it. There is no pull down center thing for a cup holder here. These seats do fold down, you know, 40-60, just like that. So that's nice, but there is no center armrest or center cup holders. Cup holder in the door there and a cup holder in the door here, so that's cool. But otherwise, pretty basics back here. They do still have the soft touch fake leather on the doors, which is nice. This is pretty scratchy plastic though. This looks pretty cheap, and it is cheap. So, I'm not gonna split hairs there. But otherwise, good legroom. Let's go outside. Let's wrap this up. I'll let you guys know my final thoughts and why this is such a cool vehicle. Yes, a Buick can be cool. So, why is this vehicle cool? I think it's awesome because this is $29,000 freaking dollars. I'm so tired of Motor Trend and Car and Driver. I love those publications. I love all of the other YouTubers online, but everyone seems to always have the Avenir. The Avenir on this trim's 39 grand. Don't buy this car for 39 grand. That is stupid. Buy this car for 30. It makes so much more sense. It's all-wheel drive, great fuel economy, low end around town. It feels peppy. It's very quiet. Buicks are known for being quiet. It's just so cool to see something like this for $30,000. To have something that looks this nice. You pull up on a date night and this comes up. It has beautiful LED lights at night. And it looks nice. I think it probably has the best, most striking curb appeal you could get for 30 grand, new of course. How does it compete price-wise? This is only a couple grand more than a comparable HR-V, or especially a Subaru Crosstrek. Those are getting pricey now too, for the segment. And so I think unless you are just a diehard Honda people or Toyota person or Subaru person, which, let's be honest, their brand loyalty is very high, I don't see why you wouldn't go for this. I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't test drive it. Just test drive it, get a look of it. If you need the sunroof and the heated seats and all that, you can get that. It'll push the price to $33, $34. I think the sweet spot though is someone who just wants a nice all-wheel drive car that'll get great fuel mileage, you know, 30 miles per gallon, carry the family, good storage, running errands, a good city car, and it'll do everything you need. I think that's commendable for 30 grand. Again, I'm so sick of seeing publications rave about cars, and then you'll see the as tested price, so it'll be $64,000, and it's like, well, of course it's nice, it's 64 grand. When are we going to get the nice affordable cars? And they're right here. People who complain in the comments all day how there's no such thing as affordable cars anymore, right here, they're here. I wish more people put their money where their mouth is and buy them, because that's why these affordable cars are disappearing, is because the American consumer keeps wanting their car to have every feature in the book, and that's why we have sky-high payments in this country. All right, I'll get off my soapbox, you guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I love to answer your questions. I love getting feedback. Keep it constructive, of course, but otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.